Good YouTube, Quinn Wade comes out with that instant basketball analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube exclusively forever on there. And we're going to talk about how the Golden State Warriors got a win over the Dallas Mavericks 126 to 116. The Dallas Mavericks ended up going to 12 and 20 and 3 of them and 11 on the road. The Warriors are 16 and 15 and 10 and 4 at home. And the Warriors won the first quarter 40 to 28. They won the second quarter 31 to 30. They lost the third quarter 31 to 29. And the fourth quarter 27 to 26, but it didn't matter because they got up real big in that first and second quarter, and they basically was able to trail they was able to force the Dallas Mavericks to stay behind basically the entire game, and then the Mavericks couldn't really make a legitimate run to get the lead and keep it. So the Warriors was able to just beat them and just keep taking their time and making good passes. And Steph was able to get the ball in his hand and put him away because they couldn't really stop or guard him in this one, which nobody can really stop and guard him anyway. We want to be honest about it. But let's talk about the Mavericks because once Anthony Davis went down, it was basically game over against this Warriors team, even though the game was still close when he left the game. But it just opened up a little bit further after that. He had 3 points in 11 minutes. He went 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. He did have 3 rebounds. Every starter for the Mavericks got a rebound or more. He also had a steal and 2 blocks, which is a lot, in 11 minutes. But he was a +6 and plus minus, and this is the problem with Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. They're both injury-prone type of players. So you looking at it like they're both in their 30s. Can we really win a championship with the roster that we have? And Derek Lively, he's also out for the whole season. And the other guys are good, but can they beat the Thunder? Can they beat Denver? Can they beat Houston and got teams like that in a 7-game series? And if they don't, you have to look at it like we got to get the best package we can get before we stay with these guys too long and get a package that doesn't really help us out. Plus, our best player is probably not going to be good or better until the future, which is Cooper Flag, because he's always available so far. He's always playing real good, especially this month and last month. And you wonder, should we just break it up and blow it up while these guys still have value instead of holding on to them as they continue to age? That's the question you have to be asking yourself if you're a Mavericks fan or in the Mavericks organization, because it's starting to get to a point where nobody's going to want the guy if he's not going to be able to play 10 games straight. And Kyrie has been injury prone like that the last couple of years too. But other than that, PJ Washington, 34 minutes, 14 points, 7 to 12 from the field, 0 1 from 3. He did have a double-double because he ended up getting 10 rebounds. He also had 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. 1 offensive rebound, no personal fouls, and was a -7 and plus minus. He kept scoring even when the game was almost over. So he was able to inflate his stats a little bit, but you got to play until the game is over because you never know what's going to happen. And it didn't go out the way that they wanted to, but it happens. Najee Marshall, 28 minutes. He also had 14 points, but he went 5 of 14 from the field and 0 of 2 from 3 and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He finished with 4 rebounds, 1 turnover, and he also had 3 personal fouls and was a -3 and plus minus. He's going to score, and that's what you need him for. That's what you rely on him for. He was able to do that. Wasn't the most efficient, but he was a volume scorer today. And then Cooper Flag had the most points on the team with 27. He's been lighting it up lately. 36 minutes, 13 to 21 from the field, shooting the ball. 1 to 3 from the three-point line, 0 to 2 from the free throw line. He also had 5 rebounds, 5 assists with no turnovers in the block, and 3 personal fouls and a -7 and plus minus. And then Ryan Nimhart, he's been struggling scoring the ball at an efficient level, but he only played 17 minutes in this one anyway and finished only with 4 points because he went 2 of 5 from the field and 0 of 1 from 3. He also only had 1 rebound, and he did get 2 assists and a turnover, but he also had 3 personal fouls and a +5 and plus minus. Everything was going bad for the Mavericks in this game, and it just sucks because they seem like they just making a run for being a play-in team, and now it seems like they got to go through we got to get everybody healthy enough to make another run to be able to still make it. And it's just like, this is what they're going to be telling themselves every year at this point. If they keep this current roster together, Caleb Martin, 9 minutes, 2 points, 101 from the field, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul, and a +2 and plus minus. Daniel Gafford, 15 minutes, 6 points, 3 of 3 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls, 1 offensive rebound, and a -11 in plus minus. And then Klay Thompson, 26 minutes. He only had 7 points, but he only took 8 shots. Finished 3 of 8 from the field and 1 of 4 from three. He did have 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 personal foul, and was a -4 and plus minus. And Brandon Williams was the sign of hope when he came off the bench. Was made a three that he banked in, made 2 point shots, got to the basket, got to the free throw line. 26 points, 9 of 12 from the field, 101 from three, 7-9 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 personal fouls in 17 minutes. And since Ryan Nembhard didn't play that many minutes, it made sense to get a ball to him because at least he can score. And they needed that because they was, like I said, trailing basically the entire game. So he was basically giving them a fighting chance, but it didn't work out. And then Max Christie, he did a good job of being efficient and scoring in good spots and creating good looks for himself and his teammates. He finished with 13 points in 34 minutes. He was 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from three, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, had 6 boards, 3 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 personal foul, and a -14 in plus minus. 49 to 89, 55% from the field. Well, I'll just get to the Warriors and compare them then. But the Warriors ended up getting 14 points for Jimmy Butler, 32 minutes for that. 5 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds. That was the most on the team tonight. He also had 9 assists. That was the most on the team too. I mean, every starter ended up getting a rebound or more in this game. He also had 4 turnovers, 1 steal, 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and a +14 and plus minus. Not the greatest game from Jimmy Butler scoring the basketball wise, but he still was scoring when he needed to and took high percentage shots when he had the chance. And he also set up his teammates like he usually does, and it ended up working out for him in this game. Draymond Green, 28 minutes. He had 7 points, was 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from three, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 5 personal fouls, and was a -9 and plus minus. And he also had an offensive rebound. He's going to just make the plays that's obvious for him. Other than that, he's not going to try to force or do anything crazy. And he did a good job of that in this game. Quentin Post, 14 minutes, didn't play a lot, but he did get 6 points by shooting 3 of 9 from the field and 0 of 4 from three. Not the greatest night shooting the basketball, but he also did have 3 rebounds and the steal, 1 offensive rebound, 1 personal foul, and a -2 and plus minus. And Stephen Curry, 33 minutes, 23 points. That was the most on the team when it comes to points. And on top of that, minutes. He also was 6 of 18 from the field. Didn't shoot the ball that great in this one. He also was 2 of 10 from three. That's below average for Steph and anybody in the league. And he also went 9 of 9 from the free throw line. They could not slow him down or stop him when it came to using his brain to be able to stop and attack and just find ways to draw contact by keeping the defense off guard and just keeping them guessing. He also had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, and one offensive rebound and 3 personal fouls. Was a -3 and plus minus. Steph just hasn't shot great at all on Christmas, and tonight was just one of them nights where he did it again. But the best part is they won, and that's what mattered the most. Moses Moody, 30 minutes, 12 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from three, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 personal fouls, and he finished as a +5 and plus minus. He gave you good, smart scoring that the Warriors need him to do and bring to the table in this game, and he did that while also helping out with defense and also helping out with the boards and the assists. Trace Jackson Davis got in double figures with 10 points. He went 5 of 6 from the field, kept finding ways to get close to that basket. And then it was just, could he finish it? And he did that more times than not. 5 boards, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and a +8 and plus minus. Al Horford, 11 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from three, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and no personal fouls. And he was a +9 and plus minus. He needed to play this game because they needed his spacing, and he was knocking down basically everything. And then the other shot, he finished near the rim, but everybody off the bench ended up having a rebound or more too. Gary Payton II had good high percentage looks, He ended up playing 15 minutes and had 6 points, went 3 of 5 from the field. Did miss his only 3, but the 2-pointers was really strong finishes. He also had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and a +6 and plus minus. And of course, D'Anthony Melton is looking better as he's healing from that knee injury. He also had 24 minutes played and 16 points. He went 5 of 14 from the field. That was the most points off the bench, and it also he took the most shots off the bench. He was 2 of 7 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal foul, and a +19 and plus minus. Brandon Podziemski, 28 minutes, 13 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. He kept getting good looks, and a lot of the times he turned them down. If he didn't turn them down, he shot it quick, but he didn't shoot the ball great from 3 in this one, but he still was able to shoot good overall from the field. And from the free throw line, like I said, he went 4 of 4 there. He had 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, 2 offensive rebounds, 3 personal fouls, and was a +2 and plus minus. And Will Richard hit a nice little jumper and then made a 3 and went 1 of 5 from 3, 2 of 6 from the field, 5 points, 13 minutes to get it. He also had 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 offensive rebounds, and a +1 and plus minus with no personal fouls. And then to compare both teams before the videos is over. The Warriors shot 44 of 99. That's 44% from the field, while the Mavericks shot 49 of 89. They took 10 less shots than the Warriors, but they made their shots at 55%, and then 14 to 50, 28% from 3 for the Warriors, and then obviously 4 of 14 shooting, 29% from 3 for the Mavericks, and then 24 of 25, 92% from the free throw line for the Warriors, and the Mavericks shot 14 to 21. That's 67%. So they ended up obviously shooting better than the Mavericks in the free throw percentage, and they also shot 5 more free throws than the Mavericks in this one. The Warriors also had 49 rebounds compared to the Mavericks 41, 33 assists compared to the Mavericks 18, 11 turnovers. Both teams had that. The Warriors did have 9 steals while the Mavericks had 5, and then 4 blocks for the Warriors while the Mavericks had 5, and then 13 offensive rebounds, which really hurt the Mavericks, who only had 3, but the Mavericks had 38 defensive rebounds while the Warriors had 36, and then 22 personal fouls. The Warriors ended up beating them because the Mavericks only had 16. So the Mavericks kept trying to keep it close. They tried to find a way to try to sneak and take this game away from them and win it, but the Warriors was able to get a lot of good looks. They was able to create a lot of good looks for themselves and the team in general, and they just played a real good game of understanding where to be out of the court, finding ways to get open, and finding ways to just be able to finish the easy little shots that they was able to get open with against the Mavericks defense. And like I said, once AD went down, the team just kind of was like, the Warriors should be able to win this one. They should be able to finish this one off. And they got the best player on the court now with Steph Curry. You could have said that even if AD was healthy, but he's a guy that impacts the court on both ends of both ends. So he could have came up big for them when it came to scoring, when they got stuck a little bit. Obviously, he can block shots. Obviously, he can rebound real well. And those are fundamentally things that you need to have to be able to win basketball games. And once they lost that for the Clip P game, and then they lost Andrew Nembhard, who was actually a good heartbeat for this team. He gives everybody good looks. He gets himself good looks, and he can be a tough cover. Once he didn't play a lot of minutes, Anthony Davis was out. They lost too much, power to be able to win this one. And the Warriors, they just like, let's just keep doing what we've been doing. Let's just continue to play our style of basketball, which is move and play off of Steph. And they ended up getting them some good looks, and they also was able to get to the free throw line and knock those down too. So not the greatest game from both teams, but it sucks to see Anthony Davis go down again. But the Warriors did need this win for them to increase their chances of being a playoff team, and it has ability to get them out of the play-in if they keep winning after this, which you never really know what's going to happen, but that's the way they have to think about it. And then the Mavericks, they wanted this game so they can continue to be closer to being a play-in team, to be possibly a playoff team. But obviously with Anthony Davis going down again, it's just like, man, can the guy stay healthy for 10 games straight? If he can do that, then maybe we can make a run at being a really good team. But it just hasn't been reality for them last year or this year. And AD has really been going through that his whole NBA career. So it's something that they knew possibly would happen, and it's just been reoccurring ever since then. And you just have to deal with the fact that this is the guy that you wanted, this is the guy that you traded for, and if you can't get nothing for him, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And that's just how it can be for every team that makes a move like that and puts their franchise in a position like that. He's crippling the franchise with the injuries. I know he's not trying to get injured. I know he's not doing it on purpose, but it's getting to a point where if you can't put him with Cooper, you might as well just get rid of him and to find somebody else that you can. And that's just the way they're going to have to think before he gets too old, because he still is one of the better players. He just never plays enough to where it makes sense to keep this thing continually going, especially if they're not going to be a real threat in the Western Conference, which honestly it looks like they're just not going to be that because of the fact that he's not on the court enough. And when he is, they still not as better than the Mavericks than the Nuggets and the Thunder and teams like that. So if you're already behind the other teams and you can't find a way to climb up to their level, you're really just wasting time with this team, in my personal opinion, because Cooper Flag is only 19. He has another 10 plus years where he can still be getting into his prime for you, and you should be just trying to figure that out and trying to find a way to win now and just risk him just gaining experience that he's going to gain anyway by just playing against NBA competition and pushing himself as a player that wants to be great, which he's been doing basically his whole entire life up until this point. And he's showing you that he can adjust and play at the NBA level, at a star level, and even an all-star level is what he's showing this month. So, you got that part right. You got that part figured out. Now you got to figure out the roster and that you're going to have around him. And I think they should start doing that now, in my personal opinion. Comment, like, subscribe, share it, the notification bell to get the analysis when it first come out. I also do conversation video just like this, but about various NBA and only basketball topics too. Also do breakdowns of real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do have over 4,000 videos already on my channel that you can watch right now, and it's all for free. Plus, I also do mock draft and draft coverage too. And on top of that, I try to make videos every single day throughout the day to give y'all something to look forward to and something to watch when it comes to NBA and basketball content. And not only that, thanks for watching, thanks for checking out the channel, thanks for showing love, thanks for showing support, thanks for showing appreciation to the content that I make and loving it the way that I make it, how I go about making it, and how I go about giving it to y'all. Other than that, like I said before, Merry Christmas, stay with your family, stay with your friends, enjoy the day, relax, get some time to yourself, get some time to eat and get good spirits before the year is over. End it the right way. And y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today with more analysis, hopefully.